What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a special episode of Bros Talking. My name is Ethan, as always, joined by my wonderful co-host and brother, Nick.
There I am. What's going on?
Dude, what the heck is up? Like I said, this is a special episode. We are diving right in to our Godzilla vs. Kong review. We have each seen the movie twice, and I'm very excited to talk about this movie. I'm very excited.
I am too. I think after watching the second time, obviously the first time you watch it, you're just like sitting there just taking it all in. And the second time you want to like dive even more into it and start looking for things. So after the second time, I think I got more information obviously out of the second time, but I think I was able to form a better opinion after the second viewing. And
yeah, me too.
I don't know. I just had so much fun with this movie. I'll just start it off right there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, overall thoughts. Give me your overall thoughts on this movie. Let's just not waste any time. Everybody who's here probably knows our whole rigmarole about our normal episodes, but this is I don't know if we discussed this. This is strictly going on YouTube, or is this also going on podcast services?
No, this is strictly going on YouTube.
Strictly going on YouTube. So we have all of our podcast services you can find our normal episodes on, but our reviews are now strictly going up on YouTube to give our YouTube a little bit more exclusive content. So, but yeah, there's that. Let's just dive right into this Godzilla vs. Kong review.
So, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Hey-o. Nick,
all right,
what'd you think?
Let's dive right in. I loved it. I mean, it was pretty hyped up. I know my level of hype was probably nowhere near yours as far as just excitement level goes, but I was very hyped for this movie, and it did not disappoint for me. I mean, it gave me everything I wanted in a Godzilla vs. Kong movie, and it was Godzilla vs. Kong. Like, there was a lot of that going on, and I very much enjoyed it, and that's just speaking very broadly. It was a lot of fun. I already said that before, and I'll say it again probably later on in the episode, in this episode, but it's just so much going on to the fact where, like, it could have been another hour long, and I think it would have been okay. Like, it wouldn't have, maybe not an hour, but another half hour or so wouldn't have hurt the movie itself.
Yeah,
like,
no,
there's
I agree.
so much going on in the movie, but I don't mind that because it's just fast paced and just a good time.
No, I definitely agree that another half hour might have even helped this movie a little bit, breathe a little more. But my overall thoughts, man, I fucking enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Like, I really did. Like, first time watching it, I was obviously, if you know me, you know that I was very, very, very excited for this movie, being the gigantic Godzilla fan that I am. And I was worried that I was gonna be disappointed. I was worried that I was like, oh well. Yeah. Maybe it's not gonna be as good as I think it's gonna be, but fuck, man, I really, really, really enjoyed it. The first time watching it, you were like, remember the Rise of Skywalker effect, remember us leaving the theater watching Rise of Skywalker thinking that was the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, and then we rewatched it and we're like, well, it's good, but it's not the best, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And like subsequent viewings of Rise of Skywalker kind of, I don't want to say soured me on it, but like I enjoy it less.
It leveled you out.
Yeah. But this one, when I rewatched it, I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time.
Granted, I watched it like 2 days after watching it for the first time, so it was still pretty new. But at the same time, like, it didn't have, like you said, it didn't have the same effect where it lowered the experience of it. It was just it didn't diminish at all.
No, yeah,
in my mind.
No, and like, I was obviously very, 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 very excited, and I knew some things about this movie going into it. I don't know. Are we just going full spoilers?
Just go full spoilers.
Full spoilers.
If you're watching this review, you more than likely already saw the movie.
Yeah, full spoilers. I knew about Mechagodzilla going in because it was leaked like 2 years ago. In an article, I think with like Screen Rant or something like that. It was like, hey, Mechagodzilla is going to be in the according to this toy fair that they had, Mechagodzilla is going to be in the next Godzilla movie. I was like, oh shit, that's interesting. So I knew he was going to be in it, and they also, if you pay attention to the official trailer, he's in it for a hot second. But that didn't take away from the fact that, fuck, man, I was like, I didn't think he was going to be that in it. Like, I thought he was going to show up at the end. a la Doomsday in Batman vs Superman, which he kind of does, but he's also in the middle of the movie too. You know what I mean?
Well, he's the main reason Godzilla attacks Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, he's the reason why Godzilla's hurting people. We don't know why. You know?
Yeah. Kyle Chandler, that's your answer. It's Mechagodzilla.
It's Mechagodzilla. But no, I really enjoyed. Like, it didn't take away from the fact that I already knew about Mechagodzilla. It didn't take away from the fact that I really enjoyed that he was in this movie, and the fact that he was a fucking badass in this movie, dude. Like,
yeah, I want to come back to him. I want to come back to him later when we go over some main points.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
His character, his look was awesome. Yep. I was a little nervous because I saw the toy before I saw the movie, and the toy didn't look that great compared to what he looks like in the movie. No. And it's hard to do a Mechagodzilla because it's so CGI'd.
Yeah, this toy does not look very good. This toy is also not representative at all of what he looks like.
No, at all.
Like, he's not that gray. He's definitely more like silverish, and he doesn't have that much red on his back. It's just kind of like the tips of his spikes are red.
Yeah, and the scales just look so different. He actually looks like he's out of Jurassic Park. That toy looks like a Jurassic Park toy.
But no, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I know the biggest complaint I've seen on the internet so far is that the human characters sucked. And while they're not, I mean, you don't go to a Godzilla movie looking for, the deepest human storyline possible where it's, you think of all your values and all that shit, you know what I mean? You go so they can advance the plot so you can get to the next monster fight. I mean, that's just kind of been the theme of Godzilla movies since 1950. I want to say 1956.
Yeah.
Right after the first one.
I have an issue with that complaint because King of the Monsters definitely did that, and I think that was the narrative going into this movie. Like, King of the Monsters had too much human characterization, so like already going into this movie, people were thinking about that, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna happen again. We know it. Like it happened in the last one. It's gonna happen in this one." So like, excuse me, coming in to the movie thinking that, people are gonna think it afterwards also, even though like you need human characterization to, like you said, advance the plot, give you the storyline, because you can't just have a communication between Kong and Godzilla roaring and like looking around, and that's going to tell the story. Like, you need characterization a little bit. So like, stop complaining about human characters because you need it for a movie. So you can understand it.
I agree, and honestly, the human characters in this movie were probably my favorite in the MonsterVerse. Maybe second to Skull Island, because I really, really like John C. Reilly's character in Skull Island.
And Samuel L. Jackson's character too.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson was just Samuel L. Jackson in that movie.
But, yeah, exactly. But that's cool. he was good. He was needed.
But yeah, like, I really enjoyed everything that had to do with Team Kong. Really enjoyed Alexander Skarsgård, Rebecca Hall's character, and Kaylee Hoddle, who plays Gia. This was her first acting role, and I think she fucking destroyed it. Like, she was killed
awesome. Obviously, she didn't have to talk, but actually, I think that's harder for a child actor, for an actress to act like that without having any speaking lines.
She's deaf in real life.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep, she is very deaf. She's 100% deaf, which is crazy. That they wanted a human connection. I feel like I saw an interview with Adam Weingard where he was like, we needed someone who can connect with Kong personally, and like that's the conclusion they landed on, is they wanted a deaf actress, and they found Kaylee. Who fucking crushed it.
Yep.
And yeah, I loved everything to do with them. Team Godzilla, on second rewatch, they are literally Millie Bobby Brown, Julian Dennison, and Brian Tyree Henry are literally just there to reveal Mechagodzilla, and they do that. That's all they do.
Yep. But also, Brian Tyree Henry's role is also the comic relief in the movie, and he nails that also.
Yeah,
I really like his super anxious, just basically everyone's out to get me kind of vibe.
Conspiracy
when it comes
theorist.
to Apex. Yeah, conspiracy theorist. When it comes to Apex, is just really funny.
Yeah,
some of his lines.
Yeah, he does a very good job.
Like when he gets introduced to Millie Bobby Brown. Like, she knocks on the door and he answers, but then he's like changes his voice, like real quick. He's like, and the guy's like, "Oh, that was definitely him." Like, he's just really funny.
Yeah, they were probably. And I don't even want to say some super negative things about them. Like, I wanted to fast forward every time they're on screen, because that's not true. Because I enjoyed their subplot because it was revealing Mechagodzilla, and like revealing the connections basically to the past movies, with the Ghidorah skull being how they control Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I didn't hate it as much as a lot of other people on the internet did. I honestly didn't hate it at all. You could probably take them out of the movie, and the movie would still probably be the same. But you know, they are the audience POV, and that's okay with me.
The audience POV? Oh yeah. You're right.
Like they're finding out the story along with the audience. So.
Yeah, but they're also giving you backstory in between the 3 years between King of the Monsters and this movie.
Yeah,
with like what Apex was doing and stuff. So it's really honestly, the storyline, while predictable as far as the Kong vs. Godzilla storyline goes, the rest of the storyline wasn't that predictable, and I liked it. Like with the Hollow Earth, that was, I don't know, hints were dropped at that in King of the Monsters with the tunnels that Godzilla travels all over the place.
They're actually
using the Hollow Earth.
It was actually hinted at in Skull Island too. When they drop the bombs when they first get to Skull Island, Dr. Brooks is like, it's all hollow under here. Like, so it's like, yeah, I enjoy that it's been building for 3 movies that they finally show it in this one. Go ahead. You're gonna say something?
I was gonna ask a question, but I don't know if you want to wait till the end to ask questions and theories.
Yeah, let's wait to the end. Let's do let's just go over some like pros and cons. We like what we enjoyed. We talked about some of our favorite stuff. Do you have any? What are your biggest cons with this movie?
Biggest cons? I mean, I really don't have too many. I think I started out with one saying that it was a little short. I mean, I could have been fleshed out a little bit more. Like you said, the pace of it was just so fast. It was just everything happened like right after the other. Like there could have been a little bit of calm down and then another jump. Like instead of it peaking and then just going a straight line across instead of plateauing, it could have gone like up and down. But at the same time, like that just made for a fun, fast-paced movie. So I'm okay with it, but I would have been okay with a half hour more, you know? So like I don't know if I can necessarily constitute that as a con, but it that's maybe something that I would have liked to see maybe. Instead of saying I didn't like that, it's something I would have liked to see.
No, I agree that this movie could have used at least 20 to 25 more minutes, especially with my biggest complaint about this movie is the character of Ren Shirazawa. We could have used 10 more minutes of backstory. Just give us a reason why you're doing what you're doing, because you have like, if you don't pay attention at all, like if you're not listening or something real quick and they say his name is Ren Shirazawa, you won't know that he's the son of Ken Watanabe's character from Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
So I listened to see how many times they said Shirazawa, and they said it 3 times in the movie, and that's it.
But they could have added one more line, or like a 10-minute or a 5-minute conversation between like Shirazawa and Nathan Lind, played by Skarsgård. Like just add a conversation being like, my father put all of his life work into Godzilla, and he like didn't spend any time with me, and I want that monster. Like give him some sort of motivation.
Like, does the son have any like resentment against Godzilla because he's the reason that his father died?
Yeah.
Like is there any resentment? Is that why he's building Mechagodzilla? Like you don't know.
It's very unfortunate because he could have been such a cool character. He could have been like the antithesis of Ishiro Shirazawa, who was Ken Watanabe's character, and instead he's just kind of a henchman who stands in the background lurking and gets fried to death. Although you don't really know if he's dead, but I think he's pretty much dead because that looked like that hurt.
I don't think he's around anymore. I think all of Apex got their comeuppance.
Yeah, I think Shirazawa's character and the whole building Mechagodzilla using King Ghidorah's brain could have used a little bit more fleshing out.
So one of my main questions kind of revolves around that. I might as well just ask it now since we're talking about it. They make you assume a lot of things in this movie, and not only with that kind of area with Shirazawa, but also like Kong's instinct to bring them to the key, you know, to the axe. So like they just make you assume it. Like they never really say, oh, Kong's genetic instincts is what's bringing him back to that main mountain in Hollow Earth. They never really say that. You just have to assume it. What are your thoughts on them making you assume it? Obviously, you kind of just said that you rather it fleshed out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, give me, like I said, if you give me 20 more movies, like Adam Wingard came out, give me 21 more movies explaining everything. Adam Wingard came out and said that he has enough footage for a 5-hour cut of this movie, and while that would be a little ridiculous, and I don't think we need to start a release the Wingard cut movement, I do think that if you give me an extended cut with like 20 more minutes, 20 to 30 more minutes, make this movie 2 hours and 50 minutes long, and I think you have a very, very, very good movie. But yeah, Nathan Lin has one throwaway line in the beginning when he meets Serizawa and Simmons, I think is the other main villain's name. Right? Walter Simmons, the leader of Apex. When he meets them, he's like, have you read the instinct theory or whatever, where he's like all Titans come from the Hollow Earth and have that instinct to go home. Like that's the line that like as soon as Kong gets into the Hollow Earth, he starts booking it to like where he's supposed to be. So like you're supposed to connect that, but like give me that line again there. Like when Kong starts booking it towards the throne room, or whatever, give Nathan Lin should be like, oh, the instinct theory, this is it. He's doing it. He's going home. Like
yeah, like it proves that the instinct theory is correct.
Yeah,
like that's all you could say. Like oh wow, we were right, kind of thing.
No, you're right that they make you assume like, and then like. So when Mechagodzilla takes over him, or like fries Serizawa and takes over, you're supposed to assume that that's Ghidorah's brain taking over Mechagodzilla.
Exactly. That was one of my theories. It's just like that's Ghidorah basically coming back.
And yes, that's the big thing that I've seen is people are like, yeah, that's Ghidorah coming back. And it's Ghidorah immediately going after Godzilla because he knows that Godzilla killed him last time.
Not even going after Godzilla, just literally destroying everything.
Just getting mad that he's alive again. I mean, like, I fucking died 5 years ago, or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
I gotta do this shit again.
Yeah. But no, like that's really the only complaint I have about this movie is that the villains are a little weak, especially Serizawa. And Walter Simmons does what he needs to do. You know, he's there.
I actually think Simmons' daughter, the one who is there just to babysit Lynn, I think she was the best bad guy just because of how like rude she was, and you obviously didn't like her from the start. So like, I think she was the best bad guy, and Simmons himself didn't really do much of anything as a bad guy.
No,
he just gave that speech at the end,
and he didn't even get to finish it.
Yeah.
And Brian Tyree Henry's like, oh man, I really wish he finished that speech. I wanted to hear the end of it.
As he's about to blow up again.
Yeah. No, but out of the three of them, I think Maya Simmons has the best death scene. Yeah. Where she's trying to fly past Kong and the heave, and he just grabs her, looks in to make sure that Gia's not in there, and just crushes it and just.
And just tosses it to the side.
When he crushes it and like it blows up in his hand, you see him like shake his hand, like, that kind of hurt. Like, oh god. And I'm just going to lead that right into what I fucking adore about this movie, and that is everything to do with King Kong. Everything to do with Kong. Like, I am a Godzilla fan through and through. I have so many Godzilla toys on my desk. I know everything about Godzilla. I don't know as much about Kong as I do about Godzilla, but I was pulling for Kong in this movie. Like, not to win against Godzilla, obviously. I wanted Godzilla to stomp his ass, and he did. But everything they just
made you sympathize with Kong so much, and it was really nice because Kong Skull Island, there's not a lot of sympathy for Kong. It's like he's the villain, but also the good guy because the army's the bad guy. Like it's weird the vibe that Kong has in Skull Island. Meanwhile, here he's your hero.
Yeah,
or your basically the anti-hero because he's destroying things also. But like you sympathize with him a lot because he's taken out of his home. He's dropped in Antarctica. Like he's the main character of this movie.
Yeah, and if you go into this movie expecting equal time for Godzilla and Kong, I think you're gonna be a little disappointed because Kong definitely gets the brunt of the screen time, and Godzilla's kind of it's a Kong movie featuring Godzilla, which is weird that Godzilla has top billing. But
yeah, if this movie were up for Oscars, Kong would be nominated for Best Actor, Godzilla would be nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Exactly. Exactly.
Imagine that acceptance speech.
They'd all be dead. But no, dude, fucking everything with Kong. I really liked the sequence where they go through the Hollow Earth portal and like the gravity inverts as they're falling and they fall back up. That is just visually insane.
Where Skarsgård's character just stares at Kong.
Yeah, stares at Kong as he's walking. Yeah,
and they just pass each other. It's awesome.
It's insane. And then like the scene where he's running through Hollow Earth, and then like there's like a little bit of a gap between the next like phase, and he just jumps and it like flips him upside down, and he like catches on. Oh my god, dude!
There's a lot of scenes where the camera does a full 360 like upside down full turn, and it works out really well.
Yeah.
They do it in the Godzilla fight with Kong, they do it in Hollow Earth, and then they do it again in Hong Kong where it's just like a full 360 flip and it comes back like upside down but works out, so it's really nice the way the shooting is done.
So yeah, everything to do with Kong is probably my favorite thing about this movie. That and it's especially Gia. Like I adore her. She is awesome, and like you just feel for her because that's her best friend. Like, and it's another throwaway line which I kind of wish they explained, but I'm sure they'll explain it in like a comic book or something. That when the storm that is protecting Skull Island in Kong Skull Island, it moves and it's over Skull Island now, which is why they built that habitat for Kong. And it wiped out the Iwi tribe, and Kong saved Gia. So like that's her. That's basically like her dad. Like her like older brother is Kong, and they just have that great relationship. I adore it.
I wonder if they're gonna ever like explain what happened during King of the Monsters, what was going on with Skull Island during that time.
Yeah, why
because
Kong
Ghidorah was calling all.
Why he didn't come?
Yeah, Ghidorah was calling all the Titans, unless Kong was already underground in that base, and like no, he couldn't
leave. Yeah, maybe but I feel like in a real quick shot of King of the Monsters when they show the map of all the Titans and like they're all blinking, I feel like Kong is off Skull Island. Like I feel like he was heading that way or something like that. I don't know, but
I don't know. See, I more questions.
Yeah, exactly.
More assumptions.
It's more of just forget everything you know and just watch these two Titans fucking beat the shit out of each other.
Right.
But yeah, everything to do with Kong. I also really, really enjoyed Godzilla destroying cities again. Like he just showed up. Like it's a callback to, you know, the original Godzilla movies where he shows up and just destroys a city. He just fucking rolls up on Pensacola, Florida in the first 15 minutes of the movie and just destroys everything.
The scene where young Serizawa is looking out the window and Godzilla's just kind of standing there walking up like and the guy's like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
And that scene is just so sweet. Like Godzilla obviously still in the ocean but towering over everything. It's an awesome scene.
Like props to fucking Weta, who did the CGI for this movie, because every I don't think there was one shot where there was a Titan on screen. I was like, that looks like CGI. Like they made you believe that they were actually there. Like I don't think there was really one shot that I was like, that looks bad, you know. And there was a couple shots in King of the Monsters, especially, that I was like, that doesn't look great. But no, it looked fucking superb in this movie.
Sure did.
But obviously, the reason why we came here, the reason why we wanted to watch this movie was because of the fight scenes. So what did you think of the fight scenes?
So I loved the fight scenes. I think I would constitute it as 3 major fight scenes, right?
Yes, I would say 2 with like a premature call. You know what I mean?
Like a pause?
Yeah, like I feel like the first round of Hong Kong where Kong gets the axe and does the thing from the trailer where Godzilla's breath is just fucking lighting up the axe and he hits him on the head with it, and then they both get knocked down, and then Nathan's like, well, I guess round 2 goes to Kong. I was like, I don't think so.
Because Kong stood up right away and Godzilla didn't.
But then Kong falls back down. Like he like gets up, he's like, oh, and then like staggers back down. And then immediately, like 2 minutes later, they're both back up again. So they needed to have that to, I think, satisfy the people who were 100% Team Kong. You know what I mean? That Kong had to win a fight, and he kind of technically won that fight.
Basically, just that he can hold his own. He's not gonna lose every time.
He could hold his own when he has city buildings and stuff to hide behind, and like, you know, like do his like monkey shit. And an axe, where he like do his monkey shit and climb and like tumble and shit. But when he's in the ocean, he was fucked. He
Yeah,
was fucked.
that scene, that whole fight scene was amazing. Just the way they used the boats, they used the planes, they used the water and the chains. Like they used everything. Oh, I just did a rap. But the way they used like that whole the environment of the ocean, the middle of the ocean, to have Godzilla fight Kong was awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that scene. I think that probably was my favorite fight scene, just because of how intense it was. Like right away, it's just like everyone's on the ship. It flips upside down, and Alexander Skarsgård has to swim in the upside down ship to release Kong from the chains. Otherwise, he would have drowned and been a sitting duck. So, I think that scene was the best fight scene. Although the Hong Kong scene was visually stunning.
Yeah. No, I love the aircraft carrier scene, and I love that in the trailers they kept showing the picture of the video of Kong punching Godzilla, and then Godzilla just fucking eats that shit and slaps Kong right, like just fucking bitch slaps him. I love it.
He uses the punch against him to get the momentum to slap him in the face,
and then I love. One of the things Adam Wingard said was that his favorite part of watching Godzilla, and I mean, Adam Wingard and I would be best friends because he was like, my favorite part of watching Godzilla when I was a kid was the atomic breath. Like I just would fast forward to the atomic breath scenes, and he's like, I use that shit a lot in this movie. And in Godzilla slaps Kong and is immediately gearing up for his atomic breath, and then gets shot by the military, and he's not afraid to use his atomic breath in this movie, and I absolutely love it.
He was going for the knockout punch right away.
Right away.
He just doesn't care. Like it is weird that like in the old school movies they would save the atomic breath for the finale,
and
like that's how they did it. He would win.
In 2014 too. 2014 he didn't use it until the last like 10 minutes of the movie, where like he builds up. And then granted, it's a fucking phenomenal scene where like it's really cloudy and gray, and you see the blue lighting up in his tail and it goes all the way up his back. Awesome, but I also like this version where he's just using it every 2 seconds. He knows it's his best move, and he's just fucking using it.
Yeah, might as well use it. But I also like the lighting of Godzilla's fins is really nice because like you can see he's about to use it, like, and also you can hear it too.
Yeah, I love the sound effect they use. Yeah,
the sound of his atomic breath warming up is really cool.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and you can hear it when it's under the water. You can hear it even more.
Yeah.
Like it's done really well.
Yeah, I also really like the animalistic nature they gave Godzilla in this movie. He's hunting, like, and he was hunting Kong, and he was circling back around until Kong played dead, and like Kong wasn't really playing dead. He was just fucking exhausted, and they shut off all the engines and stuff, and he was like, okay, like I see that you're done right now.
And as soon as everything turns off, he pokes his head out of the water and just stares at them. Like he was coming back to finish them off, and then he's like, huh. And he like stares at them and like realizes Kong's still alive but not a threat. And he's just like, all right.
And then skipping ahead to the round 2 in Hong Kong, as soon as they get up and like it cuts back to the fight after Kong knocks out Godzilla for a second, and Kong's like chilling on the building, and Godzilla's like basically like sniffing the ground looking for Kong, like you get the overhead shot of Godzilla's like head just bobbing back and forth like looking for him. I was like, that's so fucking cool.
And Kong's on top of the building waiting to jump on top of him. Yeah.
And then again when Kong gets downed and is like backing up on his all fours and is like crawling away, and Godzilla's like crawling after him and like a fucking alligator. I
actually wrote that down. You see Godzilla crawl so much in this movie compared to any other time I've ever watched a Godzilla movie. You don't see him crawl that often because his arms in like the old movies are a lot smaller, like a dinosaur. Here they're more lizard-like, an alligator-like you said. So like him using that crawl method, and he also uses the tail whip a lot too.
Yes, and it's great. And then fucking brutalizes Kong. Fucking just tears up his chest and is just like stepping on his chest and like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's like basically saying submit, bitch.
He's like, and the look that he like, they do a really good job of making these Titans be able to emote, and like you could tell what Godzilla's thinking. He's like, tap, like fucking give up, like you're done. And then like Kong like yells back like, I'm not done. And then he like kind of cries in pain. He's like, oh shit, I'm kind of done. And then Kong like starts dying.
He gets up and then just passes, like he's about to die.
And Godzilla just leaves him to fucking die, and it's great. It's fucking great. But like at the same time, you're like, oh shit, Kong, dude. Like I spent the entire movie with this guy. I want him to be okay. Like, I don't know. It's just phenomenal. And then a couple of throwbacks that they did to the original King Kong vs. Godzilla. The fucking how they get Kong to Antarctica, where they attach him to helicopters and just fly him there. Oh my god, I literally yelled, "Holy shit, they're doing it!" when I saw that, and you can attest to that because you were sitting next to me.
And I said, "Yes, they are." But it sucks because that was in a trailer.
Oh, was it?
I had seen it. Yeah, and I had seen it.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah. So I know you were avoiding all the trailers, but I was not. So
Yeah.
when I watched that, I was just like, "Oh, look at that."
That's awesome.
So I'm glad you didn't see it and got to experience it for the first time.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they did that. And then again, when Kong has to get revived, he gets kind of like shocked, like with electrical. He doesn't get electrical powers, but in the original 1963 King Kong vs. Godzilla, he gets electrical powers because he gets struck by lightning. But
also, is it a callback in the beginning when Kong takes the tree out of the ground and rips it off? Like, because that's how he fights Godzilla in that one. He takes a tree and stuffs it down his throat.
So yes, but in the Hong Kong fight, he takes the handle of the axe and shoves it down Godzilla's throat when Godzilla's about to use his atomic breath, which I think is the callback there, which I fucking adore. But yeah, everything to do with those two, man, fuck, it's just like perfect. Like it's just fucking perfect. And I honestly like, I want because this is the last scheduled movie in Legendary's Monsterverse because they don't have the rights anymore. Toho and Legendary need to work out a new contract for them to be able to continue to make Godzilla movies. But I think they left it open-ended enough that there's gonna be more. You know what I mean?
Well, it's doing so well already.
Yeah,
and, like this is opening weekend, and like I keep seeing the headlines saying how much money this movie is making.
And it has the best. I know Rotten Tomato scores don't mean anything, but it has the best Rotten Tomato score out of any of the MonsterVerse movies, which is cool. It's reviewing very well. Unless people just can't get past the human characters, and it's like, bro, come on, they're not bad in this movie. Like they're really.
That's what
not.
I mean. Like it's like. They came in with the narrative and they're just gonna run with it.
Yeah.
They need to find something to be upset about. It's just like, all right,
it's been that way
like,
since
whatever.
2014 when Bryan Cranston got killed off. When Bryan Cranston got killed off in 2014, everyone was like, "Oh, this movie's terrible. They killed off Bryan Cranston too early, and we're stuck with Aaron Taylor Johnson." Well, it's like, yeah, that sucks. Like, oh well.
But it's a Godzilla movie. Yeah, like Godzilla's not dead.
Bro, I fucking grew up watching. I grew up watching the most ridiculous movies of all time. You know what I mean? Watching Godzilla movies.
Yeah, you need to suspend yourself in disbelief a little bit.
And that's the thing that bothers me the most, I think, with people criticizing this movie is that they're like, I can't I can't suspend disbelief enough to know that there's a monorail underground that goes from, Pensacola, Florida to Hong Kong, or that there's the middle of the earth has its own gravity pull and has its own sun. It's like, bro, you can suspend disbelief enough to know that like the Avengers exist and like there's fucking Kong and Godzilla in this movie, but the thing you can't get over is the technology, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Like, God, it's so nitpicky and it's so annoying that it seems like only these movies get that much hate like about the sci-fi element.
I'm telling you, it's the Twitter world out there. They just need to find something to be mad at, and they will voice their opinion, which is just the worst.
Like. Each Godzilla movie has its own like era of old Godzilla, like Japanese Godzilla movies. So I would say 2014 compares probably the most to the original in the nuclear testing and all that stuff, like parallels.
And it's slow.
Yeah. The King of the Monsters would probably compare most to like the wacky Showa era, which is like Destroy All Monsters, like the late 60s, early 70s Godzilla vs. Megalon, kind of like it's kind of like campy and just fun. And then I would say Godzilla vs. Kong compares a lot to the Heisei, which is the late 80s to early 90s movies, which is Godzilla vs. Biollante versus Space Godzilla versus Destroy It, because they have a lot of sci-fi in those movies, and it's just kind of like all go in those movies, which I love. Like I love those movies. I grew up on the Heisei era of Godzilla movies. And I don't know. I just find it very endearing, and I fucking love these movies. And I do not want them to end. That's that.
Well, hopefully they don't.
You said you had any questions, or was your questions about the?
I mean, I asked my questions in the middle while we were on topic, so I really don't have that much. But if you have any questions that you would like to throw out into the Zilla universe, the Godzilla universe, sorry, not the Zilla.
No, you're good. So where do you you not being as big of a Godzilla fan as me, where do you think, if they continue the universe, where do you think it goes?
See, that makes me nervous because now that Kong is a main character of this universe, it's going to be hard to have separate movies without including the other one, you know?
Yeah,
Because
I get that.
now
But
they're just so intertwined. I don't know if you're going to be able to do another Kong movie where it's takes place in Hollow Earth. Like, you already had him fight the monsters there, the pterodactyl monster things, and like that took him 3 seconds to kill 3 of them.
yeah.
So like, I don't know if you could have another movie with Kong based around Hollow Earth by itself. Godzilla, on the other hand, I mean, they've teased so many other Titans. They've teased obviously space because that's where Ghidorah comes from. So there's a lot of open-ended things as far as Godzilla's storyline goes. I just don't know what would be able to come of Kong's.
So here's what I would like to see from the MonsterVerse. I would like to see a Kong Hollow Earth movie. You know, Kong Skull Island is a movie, so give me Kong Hollow Earth as a movie. Where it's bring back Nathan Lind, bring back Skarsgård, bring back Rebecca Hall, bring back Gia, Killy Huddle, and have them be the focus again because they were great together. And have them explore the Hollow Earth with Kong, and maybe there's an ancient civilization down there, that there's humans down there or like some sort of species down there, and they worship a beetle god, and that beetle god is Megalon, and have him fight Megalon. You know what I mean?
That would be cool.
That's where I'd like to see Kong go. Honestly, Godzilla, you can have him dormant for a couple years, and give me the Disney treatment. Give me the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Give me the WandaVision. Give me a show about Rodan. Give me a show about Mothra. Give me a show about other Titans and build out that universe more. It doesn't have to be all around Godzilla. Maybe save him for the next big team up, or have him another movie where like it's just Godzilla. Because I mean, you have your Iron Man 3s where Cap's not in Iron Man 3, but Cap is already established in that universe. So give me a Godzilla versus Biollante is where I'd want to see Godzilla versus Biollante next.
Well, you said something to me that was pretty interesting. They used the oxygen destroyer in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which in the original Destroyer, that's how he was created.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's where I would want it all to wind up at, is I would want to see Mothra get fleshed out and have her own show, just a limited series. Give me like a limited series with Mothra. Give me a limited series with Rodan. Give me another Kong movie. Give me another Godzilla movie, and then have them all team up to fight Destroyer, who was created by the Oxygen Destroyer. And you have your ending, and you have your fucking movie title, which is called Destroy All Monsters. Boom, boom. That's how you end the franchise. And then maybe you continue again, and maybe that's how Godzilla gets killed. And Godzilla dies, because he dies in the original Godzilla vs. Destroyer, so maybe Godzilla dies with like the hint that he could return, like there's another Godzilla egg out there, or another baby Godzilla out there, or something like that, and then continue with King Kong, you know what I mean? Or don't. Or just end it there forever. And then do a reboot 20 years later, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I would like to see, the world fleshed out with an HBO Max series, with another Kong movie exploring the Hollow Earth. I would like to see Megalon, because I think it'd be funny. I would also really like to see Gigan. I don't know how well Gigan would work.
I was going to say, Gigan in live action would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. But no, I think it all should lead back to either a Destroyer or another... I don't want to say another Ghidorah, because that'd be kind of lame, but there's such a thing as a Kaiser Ghidorah in the original movies, which was Godzilla's final.
Did he have 5 heads?
No, he has 3, but he just looks fucking cool. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I would go with this, is build out the universe more and have them all team up for one final endgame style movie. And I think that would be fucking
that would be pretty cool.
Is it going to happen? Probably not. Do I want it to happen?
Probably not.
Oh my god, yes.
Start sending your fan letters to Legendary right now.
I do think that they are going to extend the license. I do think that Godzilla gets another movie. But the problem is that you risk it being worse than this movie, and then being let down for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
or
feel
oversaturation.
Yeah, that too. This could. I saw a very cool comparison to Fast and Furious. That Fast and Furious didn't really get it right until the 4th movie, and this is the 4th movie in the MonsterVerse. So, is it just going to be up from here, like Fast and Furious, or is it going to just kind of, You know, is or
level out,
yeah,
and die down.
But also, if this is the end, I think it ends satisfyingly, where Kong is the king of Hollow Earth, and he gets his title of king. He sat on his throne for a hot second, and he's gonna be down there, and Godzilla's just back to being the defender of the Earth, not hurting people, and we don't know why. You know?
Yeah. As long as there's no Mecha Godzillas.
We didn't really talk about Mechagodzilla. We talked about him a little bit, but fuck, he was really cool.
He was
really cool.
It's crazy how you think back. Also, you have to assume this. Going back to my point, they make you assume everything. When oh shit, what's Tyree's character's name? Bernie. When Bernie breaks down into when Godzilla's attacking Apex and Bernie sees Mechagodzilla's eye, you hear it making a noise.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Apex is asking Godzilla to attack, so they have a reason to use Mechagodzilla.
Yeah,
they don't say that. You have to assume that because they have the eye making that noise to attract Godzilla, and then right away they ship it to Hong Kong. They get it the fuck out of there while Godzilla's destroying everything.
If you listen carefully, it sounds like the orca from King of the Monsters.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But again, they don't explain it.
Exactly.
But yeah, and that's also kind of like Mechagodzilla's roar sounds like the orca mixed in with King Ghidorah's roar, which is really cool. But yeah, they're using the orca technology to have Godzilla attack these places, and like you said, they just need to explain it. Like, just fucking explain it. Just needs 20 more minutes all about the villains. Like, that's all you need. Their motivations, and then you're set.
Right.
But I mean, other than the weak villains, man, I fucking love this movie.
Also, no more Hong Kong. Hong Kong.
Oh god, dude, so many fucking people died. So many people.
They were still evacuating when Mechagodzilla was flying over, and that was after Godzilla and King Kong destroyed half the city already.
When I rewatched it, I was just looking to see how many people were still in the city, and Lance Reddick, who has for some reason top billing in this movie, he's one of the main actors on the screen. He has literally 4 words. He was like, we started evacuating the city, and Godzilla's already fucking walking through Hong Kong. He's like, why didn't you start this earlier? Why didn't when you knew Godzilla was heading for Hong Kong, why didn't you say everyone get the fuck out now? But instead, people are still at work and still eating dinner and shit, and Godzilla's just fucking walking through the city. And then again, after Godzilla and Kong fight, fucking Mechagodzilla breaks out of the mountain, and people are shopping, and people have shopping bags when they're running away from Mechagodzilla. What are you doing? Why are you still here?
Yeah. You didn't just see the giant fight that happened all night.
They're they're done. They're done. We can go about our business now. And then Mechagodzilla breaks. They're fuck, not again.
Everything's back to normal.
Yeah.
There's just a giant monkey dying in the middle of the city, but we're gonna go shopping.
No, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But what did you think of the team up fight?
I thought it was cool because it wasn't a full-on team-up. It was Kong needed convincing that Godzilla was no longer the enemy.
Yeah.
Gia had to say, Godzilla is not the enemy, that is the enemy. And then she, wished him, be careful, which I thought was adorable. She's you be careful. And he's like, oh, fine.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was cool because there was no, what was the movie where Godzilla teamed up with someone and gave him a head nod and a fist bump and a high five? It was the Jet Jaguar, right?
It was either Jet Jaguar or Anguirus. So it's either Godzilla vs. Gigan or Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Right. But so there's no official team up. They just use each other the right way. Kong surprised Mechagodzilla, and Godzilla was he was done. He was done. He was done for. Mechagodzilla was gonna do his laser breath in Godzilla's mouth to split him in half, but Kong saved him, and then Godzilla realized that Kong saved him and didn't do much else while Kong was fighting other than use his atomic breath to light up the axe so he could start chopping
There's that one part where Kong jumps in, so Mechagodzilla's gonna do the thing that Godzilla did to the Mutos in 2014, just fucking blow his breath down his throat, which I thought was a cool callback. And then Kong jumps on his back and moves his head so his breath just goes up, or laser. It's not breath. I guess it would just be a laser beam.
Yeah,
goes
it's a laser,
up. Yeah. And then they each take an arm of Mechagodzilla and just drag him to the ground, and they're starting to fight.
Oh yeah, they use him to they use his head to blow up buildings.
Yeah,
Like they
just fucking throw him into buildings.
They take a side of a building, yeah.
And then that's when Mechagodzilla's like shoulder missiles hit Godzilla and knock him down. And that's when Godzilla, or his Mechagodzilla's tail was like gonna kill Kong, and then fucking Brian Tyree Henry Ex Machina happens, and they just pour the whiskey, which is a little lame, but whatever.
I do like that didn't like fully short circuit him, and like that's how he lost. Like
it
no,
stalls him for like a second.
It
gives Kong the advantage for 1 second where he can recover himself and fucking get the axe and whatever.
Yep.
I also really enjoyed that they make it seem like that they're gonna hack into Mechagodzilla and stop him, and they just don't at all. They fail, which I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah, the random 16-year-old's not going to be able to. I took an HTML class in summer camp.
Was it a 90s class? That's great. No, yeah, I mean, fucking the team up was dope. The ending was cool where, like, Kong picks up the axe again, is, like, ready to go, and Godzilla, like, kind of nods, like, hey, put it down. Like, we don't need to do this. Like, put it down.
We're good. Like, calm down.
And, like, Kong drops the axe and Godzilla roars, and you know that Godzilla's the alpha. Like, you know that, like, that's what that means. Like, Godzilla could have fucking killed Kong if he wanted to, and he just didn't.
That's Kong submitting.
One last thing I want to talk about, or I want to ask you.
Okay.
You've seen all 4 movies. I would like you to rank all 4 of those movies.
All right. I'm going to do Godzilla vs. Kong. This is tough because I really enjoy Skull Island, but I think I'm going to go King of the Monsters, then Skull Island, then Godzilla.
Yeah, so our rankings are exactly the same. But that does not mean that I fucking love all of these movies, and I will watch any single one of them at any time. I know King of the Monsters gets a lot of flack for having boring human characters and having too many human characters, which I kind of agree with, and the writing is not very good.
But at the same time, it's necessary. I'm sorry.
Yes. And the humans are literally, have always been straight up exposition in Godzilla movies. And that is okay with me. I've accepted that fact, and everybody else needs to accept the fact that they are not going to be very deep characters. That is okay. The mythology is what's deep about these movies. And they prove it here in this one. My official rankings are saying Godzilla vs. Kong, number 1. King of the Monsters, number 2. Skull Island, number 3. And Godzilla 2014, number 4. Skull Island's only above Godzilla because it's so much more fun than Godzilla.
It is.
Skull Island is just a fucking good time, and 2014 is kind of like you're waiting until the last 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like everything else is kind of cool, but
the payoff is awesome.
Yeah, the payoff is fucking dope. I can't wait to watch this movie again. I need to watch it as much as I can before it leaves HBO Max, and then I can't wait to fucking buy this movie on Blu-ray the day it comes out and just watch it over and over. And then I guess it'll be on HBO Max again when it comes out on Blu-ray. But like, fuck, I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to buy this movie. I hope they do a box set. I want to see a box set of this movie, like these movies, the MonsterVerse. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, Nick. Until next time, where can people find you, and where can people find us?
So they can find me. It's right there on the screen, right in my little window, NICKA023. But you'll be able to find us, more episodes of our actual podcast, more possibly reviews coming, and some written reviews that I've done in the past at www.brostalkingpod.com.
Yeah, Amazing Asthmatic is right there in my little box. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram there if you want to talk to me about all things Godzilla. YouTube.com/whatever it is right now, because we don't have a custom URL. But once we hit 100 subscribers, we will get that custom URL. So if you're watching this review, please give us a sub, drop a like, maybe comment on what you thought about the movie. But yeah, you can find me, like I said, Amazing Asthmatic, brostalkingpod.com for all of our podcast stuff, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you get your favorite podcast services, wherever you get your... Whatever favorite podcast service you use to get your favorite podcasts, that's where you can find Bros Talking.
There you go.
But yeah, Nick, until next time, long live the king.